Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm so happy to be here with you all. We are just going to settle in for a night of friends stopping by to say hello.
Wait.
Rich, how you doing?
There it is.
How you feeling?
Living the dream as always, man. How about you?
Oh,
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Merry Christmas to everybody listening.
Thank you. Thank you, man. It's great to have you on. Are we going to get some video or just audio tonight?
It's just audio, buddy. I'm doing the last of the decorations that I have to do.
No problem. So you listen, because these are just little stop-ins, it is really just about Christmas cheer and all that. Let me ask you something. Do you have what are your hopes and dreams separate from your predictions for the new year? Do you have any that you want to share with us?
You know, forget the predictions for the new year, Frank. I'm telling you, we did this Christmas poll, and I, for one, think that there's reason to be optimistic. Even among people, Frank, who don't believe or say they don't affiliate with the church, you know, they're still going to spend the weekend like you and I, contemplating that Christmas is not about Santa Claus, is not about commercialism. It's about the birth of the Christ. I mean, have you got a chance to look at our Christmas poll? I really think that we have a chance for a third great awakening, my friend. We just don't have the leaders that have ushered us there, but it doesn't mean it's not in people's hearts. And as long as that is the case, my friend, I'm optimistic.
Wow. I did not see your Christmas poll, and that's very nice. That goes hand in hand with what we were talking about last night on the show. I was reading an article from the Epoch Times from, I believe, last week. It was in the opinion section, and it was talking about how all over the world, especially the West, the very more and more secularized West, as they call it, psychologists and every kind of expert that they have to throw at you have been warning against Christmas customs and Christmas music being bad for the psyche and all that other stuff. And it's not
wonder why.
Oh, you wonder why. Yeah. But you can see that the pushing is there's always a boomerang effect.
83%, my man, of people who told us that they really did not have an affiliation with any religion whatsoever told us they celebrate Christmas. Even, I'm going to blow people's minds, but it's true. When Gallup used to do this, they used to find, 90-something% of people who celebrated Christmas, and I thought that was insane. What about Muslims? What about Jewish people even? Forget about people who don't have a religion. Well, 70% of Muslims told us they live in a home where there's still Christmas that is celebrated, and they're forced to contemplate whether or not Christ was the Savior. Another 50% or 57% of Jewish voters still told us that. 83% of those who don't affiliate at all with the religion told us that, including a quarter of them who say, despite not even being related to a church, I still put up a nativity scene. Somewhere in my home. Yeah, Frank. So the point is, even though they're not they call themselves others, but they're not affiliated. That doesn't mean they don't believe in God. Get this, right? Do you or your family do the following things to celebrate Christmas? If not, whatever. But this is for those who say, do you reflect on or celebrate the birth of Christ? Almost 3 in 10 who have no religion do that. 71% who don't have any religion do that. 84% of Muslims do it and wonder whether or not they're in the right faith. What else would you be doing it for, right? The Jewish voters are the least likely to say that, but they're still about over 3 in 10. Catholics, 80% almost. Protestants, 80%, of course, right? But it tells you something, Frank. And then whether or not you're going to attend church, or you're going to go to church on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, so many of these voters who still say they do all of that aren't going to go to church, right? So if you have no religion, 17% say they're going to go to church. 80% basically say they're not. Another religion, more than half.
Rich.
Muslims, 2 out of 10.
Rich,
tells you something, Frank.
Oh, it does.
Really does.
It does. And before we get off here, this is such an amazing first call. Where have you published all this on your Twitter and on your locals? I want to read it.
Yeah, actually, brother, it's a locals exclusive right now.
Okay.
You're the first one who's public who's hearing this.
Okay. I can't wait to read this. Listen, please send the best to Laura, the kids, everybody in your life over there. Thank thank you for calling in tonight, and thank you for another wonderful year together. I'm sure we'll get something in before the new year because, you know, the last Monday of this month is Christmas, so we're going to have to do something else. But thanks again for everything, man. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and yours. Rejoice, listeners. Rejoice. It is not over yet. That's my point.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one. God bless. Take care. Who is this? Is this Sean from the SGT report?
Franco.
John. Oh my gosh. How have you been, my friend?
Merry Christmas.
Merry
to you and
Christmas.
your lovely audience.
Yes, dude, it's great to have you on. You know, as always, I've been getting rave reviews about our last time on the show together on SGT report.
Good. Well, thanks for coming on, man. I always enjoy our conversations, and you know, I'm going to pay it forward with a compliment to you right out of the gate. I love how you cover the real news with a flair for humor.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
It's hard. That's hard to do.
You know,
hard to do. You know how emotional I am.
Oh, I know. Oh, listen, I get emotional as well too. But every once in a while, if we're going to do this long term, then you're going to have to find a way to keep it all leveled. As a friend of the show, John Paul Rice, told me recently, the road only narrows from here on out. So we are going to have to be able to neutralize all of that. You know, I don't know, that really nagging energy that just raps and taps on our window all the time. We got to just tell it to go pound sand. So how do you guys celebrate over there in the Midwest?
Oh, well, I mean, here's the thing. I feel like it's just a matter of time before they ban the name Jesus at Christmas, making it a purely 100% secular holiday. So, you know, we try to embrace the name Jesus and remind people that that is the reason for the season, as they say. And I think it's a pretty important holiday, but Satanists don't care for it very much. So we try to celebrate Christian ideals on Christmas in a very traditional way, let's just say.
Yes.
You know, put up a tree, we decorate the tree, we open presents. My wife's big on opening presents. I see, this didn't happen to me when I was a kid. She's big on this idea that we open family presents on Christmas Eve, but then Santa came overnight, so then it's a big thing on Christmas Day, and she always goes over the top. I mean, literally, dude, you should see my house. It's an embarrassment. We have a 3-car garage, 1-car stall filled with stuff, storage room filled with stuff. See, this is the problem. Too much. My wife goes over the top, and now all the kids are moving out of the house, and we're left with all this stuff. I'm like, honey, slow down, okay? We don't have to buy so much stuff at Christmas anymore.
I know. But we did that a little bit. I think Christmas Eve was always that was always my favorite. And that was a lot of family gifts. Everybody just, you know, circular. Christmas morning, there definitely was a little bit more of that. But then there was the Santa Claus aspect to it all. Yeah, I definitely get that much. But I wanted to ask you about your hopes and dreams. Now, I know that you are a very emotional guy, as you just said right there. But beyond this, beyond recharging with this very important religious holiday here, where are you taking this into 2024? What do you have set out for yourself as a hope, a goal, a dream?
You know, I want to be centered and hopeful that this great awakening continues to, you know, really present itself as the real thing it is, while the deep state suffers the repercussions of their overt tyranny and authoritarianism and their totalitarianism. And I just want people to continue to wake up, because I think the Great Awakening is real, and that is something we can celebrate. I mean, keep in mind that the people aligned against us, they literally hate the name Jesus Christ. And for anybody listening, whoever finds themselves in a tough situation, say maybe alien abduction, invoke the name of Jesus Christ. Evidently, these entities that I don't think are coming from different solar systems, they hate the name Jesus Christ, and they will flee from you when you invoke his name. So I just want to pay it forward by reminding people that the power of Jesus Christ and the blood he spilt for us is real. Do you remember that scene from the Mel Gibson movie, The Passion, where that Roman soldier pokes Jesus in the ribs as he's dying, once he's actually dead, and he gets sprayed with the blood of Jesus and he falls to his knees?
Longinus.
Brother, that's real.
Yeah. Yes, that's Longinus. That was the spear of Longinus. That's the origin story of the spear of destiny. That a relic many people have sought over the years, ever since then. And
and think of Raiders of the Lost Ark. What were they looking for?
Yeah.
10 Commandments in the Lost Ark, right? That was the whole center of the movie, is the Nazis wanted the power if they could capture that. Do I have that right? I think I have that right. Correct?
Yes. Yeah. And then, of course, and then we went to the chalice, the cup, the Grail in Last Crusade. So I always love, that's the reason why I love those films, actually, because there was, the whole point there was God was present, and that force, that divine force, was a very, very active part in the plot, and it was something that was not undeniable, or something that you couldn't be lost in interpretation. And it's another reason why I really now later in life enjoy that scene when Sean Connery slaps his son for using Jesus' name in vain, and say that's for blasphemy, and because it was just one of those things where it's just
blasphemy.
It's for blasphemy.
That's so funny. That's the only impression I do. I don't do impressions at all, but my only impression that I can do sort of is Sean Connery in The Hunt for Red October. As he says to Alex Baldwin, he says, they're in the belly of the submarine and they're under attack. And Alec Baldwin is going on the offensive to go get the bad guy, right? They're shooting in this nuclear submarine. And Sean Connery says to Alec Baldwin, careful, Ryan. Some things in here don't react so well to bullets. That's all I got.
That
was the Russian version of Sean Connery doing. Yeah, I mean, come on.
I'll tell you one thing about that movie real quick. There is a dining room scene, a mess hall scene in there where he's eating, and I can't that's one of my least favorite eating scenes in movie history. Sean Connery just chomping through whatever. There's something about, I don't know, his lips were glazed in oil or something. Like, this is disgusting.
Yeah, but what was interesting about the way they shot that, and I think that was it Tony Scott or Ridley Scott? I think it was Tony Scott. Ridley Scott, by the way, a great director, went on to make Gladiator with Russell Crowe, one of the best, I think, top 10 movies probably ever made out of Hollywood. The Passion maybe being number one. But they did something really unique in The Hunt for Red October, and I think that was directed by Tony Scott. The camera starts to push in very, very slowly on this group. This is the opening of the film where Sean Connery, who obviously cannot speak Russian, and he can't do a Russian accent, so they weren't going to go there, and they hired him for the role of this Russian sub-captain, and the camera's pushing in as he's speaking Russian to this group of guys aboard the sub. And it gets close enough to Sean Connery, close up, real tight close up, and then he starts speaking in English, sounding like Sean Connery, and the camera starts to pull back. And now for the rest of the movie, he speaks English. And I thought it was brilliant because they couldn't get him to do like even a Russian accent. They didn't even ask him to.
Just to make you think that this is just for us. And on that ship, they are only speaking in Russian. It's a good thing, and that's why I love filmmaking, and it's all part of the masterful. The necessity of storytelling and how it is an art form in itself that needs to be reclaimed and brought back. Sean, once again, thank you for everything. We're going to go on to our next stop of the night. Just let everybody know how to find you, and of course, how to enjoy this Christmas. Go ahead.
It's not important how to find me. Thanks for having me on. Merry Christmas to you and your audience. God bless you guys.
Be well. Thank you so much, Sean. There you go. Sean from the SGT Report.
Hey, Frank.
Hey, is that James?
It is James, a.k.a. BCP.
What is going on, BCP? It's so good to, now that I can call you James, I still slide back into calling you BCP. Doesn't matter, but whatever. It's all the same, right?
It is all the same.
So, my friend, welcome to the show. I just want to have a couple of minutes with you to hear how you and your family are going to be spending the next few days, and any hopes and dreams and predictions for the new year, and whatever the hell you want to leave us with.
Well, my Christmas has already started. Picked up. We're in California for the holidays. It's a lot better. I live in California and Utah, but Utah the weather's not very cooperative right now. So far, it's great because it's just raining and like 60 degrees, and my son just flew in from school to join us. My daughter and her husband have a red eye flight, so we're picking them up in the middle of the night, like 1 a.m. from LAX. So it's already off to a good start. My wife, who's from Mexico, just made a whole bunch of tamales, and we've got abuelita's bitter Mexican dark chocolate. So the kilos are coming on, and it's already off to a good start.
Oh, that sounds great. This is your daughter's first? This is her first Christmas married, or her second?
This is her second, because her anniversary was a few days ago. She got married about a week before Christmas.
That's right. I remember that from last year. So I just don't. Man, I try to keep track of everybody's personal lives here. It's very important to me, but there's just so much going on. So that's terrific. So what's the weather like in Utah? I'd feel like that was going to be, dry and warm. I don't know anything about that part of the country. What is it?
Well, in the south it is. It's very close to Vegas, but in the central northern part where we live, it's Rocky Mountain. If you've been to Denver, think Denver weather. So it's cold, and it is snowing, but the snow is not sticking, and it's just it's nice. It's the best powder. It's the best snow in the world. Very powdery, not bad, not slushy like northeastern snow. It's very manageable.
Okay.
So, but I still rather be here with rain, and mostly drizzling, not even heavy rain.
Do you snowboard? Do you do anything like that?
I do. Yeah, I do snowboard.
Okay, is that okay? Do you ski as well, or you prefer snowboarding?
No, I haven't skied in years. Ever since I grew up in northern San Diego County, so I surfed and skated, and so snowboarding was more just a more natural fit for me. So I struggled through skiing. Once I got on a board and was able to do tricks on a half pipe the first time in, I was like, this is more. Is more my style. And my son-in-law actually is a snowboarder, so that's nice.
Really? So he competes, or it's just a hobby he really takes?
Well, very similar. He's from Brazil, and he's a board guy as well. And so when he came to school, he's on a student visa. He's here. He's an international student, and he's like, I strap a board to my feet in snow. I'll try that, and then he liked it. Kind of a very similar story to me.
That's crazy. That's great. I would love to. I would love to do it. I think I would try that sooner than I would try the skiing. I don't like the fact that you have the 2 feet independent. I just feel like my knees are going to go in 2 different directions, and whatever the hell else. So let me ask you this: favorite Christmas song? Do you have one, or a favorite movie that you watch this time of year?
Okay. Favorite movie that I watch this time of year?
Yeah.
That's a tough one, because we go through quite a few movies. It seems like for some odd reason, the last couple of years I've watched Die Hard. I know that's like a new tradition. I think it's because of my kids. They're like, the irony of it not being a Christmas movie, but that's a Christmas movie.
Yeah. That's very popular.
So I think we're kind of jumping on the bandwagon of that. A Christmas Story. That's a classic. We like comedies, and growing up as a kid, we would watch. And I think when we go to my parents' home, when we visit my parents, we always watch March of the Wooden Soldiers.
Yes.
So total classic. And when we get our Laurel and Hardy on as well. So I'd say those are probably the top.
And the black and white. The black and white. No colorized. Don't colorize.
Yeah. My sister, who oddly enough is the same age as my oldest son. That's a story and a seminar for some other time. They're the same age for a few months out of the year. Totally crazy. My parents are like, what? I mean, like, what? You're having a kid? Okay, all right. It was always a colored version. I mean, it was always a black and white version, but she likes the colorized version, which of course is like 80s colorization technology, not very good.
Yeah.
But I think my parents switch it up every other year. So one year we watched the black and white, the next year we watched the color version.
I'll let you do that with the Laurel and Hardy film, but you cannot colorize It's a Wonderful Life.
A Wonderful Life. I'm sorry. It's a Wonderful Life actually probably is above Die Hard, and I probably should have said that.
Okay. Yeah, because those color jobs back then, it looks like Crayola markers. It's terrible. It's just awful. But all right, man. Well, listen, here's one last thing I got for you, because you are actually going to be my first guest of the new year. I can't wait for that. January 2nd, you'll be on with me. So the last thing I have for you is, how many third graders do you think you can beat up at once?
How many third graders can I beat up at once?
Yeah, how many would be one too many?
I'm assuming I have no morals, and it's a different James than the one that's.
No. Well, this is a survival situation. Nobody has weapons, but you are getting attacked by a mob of kids. You got to fight them off. How many would be one too many?
Okay, seeing that I'm 5'3", and your average third grader is probably about my size, I would say probably half a dozen.
That's reasonable.
Maybe 10. If it's kind of like fighting.
If I'm really mad.
Yeah. So I have belted in Krav Maga. I did do martial arts for several years, but third graders, if they're the average third grader and they're playing video games and they're soft, maybe a dozen.
Okay. No, I got you. I think that's great. All right, man. So thank you so much for the stop. Leave everybody some Christmas wishes here.
Don't forget the reason for the season is our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And let's be optimistic. A lot of things are happening, wacky things in Colorado with throwing presidential candidates off of ballots. We've got obviously 91 sham indictments on top of 2 sham impeachments. But people are waking up, and the MAGA black community, the black community vote for Donald Trump in 2024 is going to absolutely blow people's minds. The Hispanic community is quietly and silently behind Trump, not as loud. And be optimistic, but be involved. Make sure everyone does not forget in the coming year to vote in their local elections. They've been stealing this locally. Make sure that we're locally involved. Get involved in being poll watchers. We will win 2024, but not if we're passive. We have to be warriors, and we have to protect the vote. And I'm feeling optimistic for 2024. They are going to try all kinds of shenanigans. They're going to try to kill Trump. They're going to try to poison Trump. They're going to try to imprison Trump. Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley are going to try everything so that their sponsors and their lobbyists and their controllers will get them in. It will be a long, hard battle. It'll be like us versus 1,000 third graders. But in the end, we will prevail if we fight.
Thank you. Well, Merry Christmas, James, and I can't wait to talk to you again soon. Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas.
All right, there you go, ladies and gents. Comedian Mike Baldwin. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey, Frank. Happy Christmas. Merry. God damn it. Hey, Frank and Franklies. Merry Christmas to everybody. There's my tree in the background. Pay no attention to my dirty clothes on the... What's up, Frank? Hello, Franklies, Franciscans, and everybody else. My name is Mike Baldwin. I'm a comedian. I just wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. And there's my tree in the background. It's currently a Christmas tree until the week before Valentine's Day, and then it will become a Valentine's tree until Easter, and then it'll be an Easter tree until 4th of July, and then it'll be a 4th of July tree until Halloween, and then it'll be a Halloween tree until Christmas again. Anyway, watch Quite Frankly and stuff.
Oh my gosh, I'm down with that. Here's Megan Fox.
Hey everybody, it's Megan Fox. Thanks so much for letting me be a part of your community at Quite Frankly. It's been quite a year, and it looks like I'm about to be sick for Christmas, just in time
Oh no.
for me to get cozy in my robe. And you know what's great about that? Quite Frankly's always there. And I can turn it on and listen to interesting conversations and crazy conspiracies. Wait a minute, almost all of them have come true. Frank, do you think that maybe for next year, for Christmas, all I ask is that the conspiracies not be true? Do you think you could pull that off?
Me?
I hope everybody here has a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year.
That's a wonderful. Well, first of all, Megan, if you're out there listening, I hope that you have I hope that you recover well. My brother just said that he feels like he has a little tickle in his throat, and he's so pissed off because, so I hope you're doing well. What's going on, Tracy Beans?
What's up? I'm here in your home. I didn't know you'd be dressed up like a soldier.
Well, hey, you're dressed up nicely there too, and you've got look at the hearth behind you with the raging fire. This is so nice to have you here.
I had to play it up for the Quite Frankly podcast.
Oh my gosh. Well, I've never done anything like this before. It's been, it's almost been, by the end of the 2 hours, it's going to be a little bit of a whirlwind. But before I take away too much of your time, give us some Christmas thoughts. Give us some hopes and dreams for the new year. And I don't know, whatever else comes to mind.
Oh, hopes and dreams. So many hopes and dreams. I have been very focused, Frank, on finding joy everywhere that I could possibly find it in this effed up world we find ourselves in. It's so important to be happy as much as you can, literally. So like every day when I wake up in the morning, I picture what my perfect day would be if I could have one. And then I start my day from there, what I'm grateful for, what my perfect day would be. And then I go from there. And it's not easy to stay focused on joy. That's for sure.
No,
but
it
we
is.
have to try.
We have to try, but there's other things that you can do to kind of prop that up, some supplementation, if you will, especially in this time of year. We've got songs, we've got different ways of, we have different, many people have different ways of praying and different rituals and all that stuff. What about songs and movies? Is there a movie that it's indispensable? You need to have some one-on-one time with a certain Christmas movie, or else you feel like you've kind of rooked yourself.
There are so many we used to watch growing up. So Scrooge, the original black and white Scrooge,
Yes!
totally mandatory most Christmases. The Grinch cartoon, absolutely crucial. I love A Miracle on 34th Street. That's a great movie. And then obviously A Christmas Story is all day on Christmas. It just plays over and over and over again.
I can't tell you how happy I am that when you and anybody mentions the Alistair Sim Christmas Carol, I can't tell you. I was brought up on that too, and when I'm young, it always made me feel weird because it was old, it was black and white and whatever. And then you grow older and you really start paying attention to the acting. You start paying attention to the story more, and it's just incredible. I know that it's been done well many times afterwards, but there's just something immortal about that performance.
The first one has the crackles and everything in it. It's like
I know.
It's got like the film crackles in it and, the old school feeling. Tomorrow is just Christmas songs for an hour. I'm so excited. We got so many Christmas songs.
I heard about that. So tomorrow at 8:30, when we start our morning show on Rumble, it's just going to be an hour Christmas songs. And I should be well versed in this now. We've been talking about Christmas songs a little bit in and out. I've got some things in my head. I've got some top fives in my head. You know what's been popping up a little bit more for me recently, the last year, that I've heard it more than ever, and it's caught my attention, is Mary, Did You Know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's singing it.
Yeah. It's been around, but it's just crazy how your attention is drawn to things after years of it just kind of going right under the bridge and out of sight. So we'll talk about that and much more tomorrow. Okay, so your whole mentality going into 24 is trying to hold on to dear life, to that kind of peace and tranquility that we are kind of, just simmering in right now. Anything else that you want to leave us with?
Well, if everybody does that, right? If every one of us take the time to, do that, the world will change.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just something I'm sure of. God wants us to love everyone and everything. And my real resolution for New Year is just trying to completely eliminate judgment completely from my life. Judging people, judging things. I would like to eliminate judgment. That's my goal. You know
what feels really good when you get rid of it is gossip. Gossip is a horrible thing. I remember it was a few years ago. I was in a conversation that I just really wanted to get out of real quick, and I felt myself saying something. I even forget what it was, but I just remember saying this is wrong, and I had to go. It actually prompted me to go talk to the person about the things that I was feeling about a certain situation or whatever. I just felt this, for the first time in my life, an overwhelming need to bring some private thoughts about a person and what they had done or what they're doing, whatever, directly to them, to almost just wipe that away and get the hell away from it. Now, I know what we do on air from day to day sometimes feels like gossip, but it's not. It's all very open. So it's a public relations battlefield. But I'm talking about gossip in the personal life.
Yeah.
When you pay attention to that and you start getting away from it, oh man, it's almost like rejuvenating thing in itself. But
Yep. Changes
right.
everything.
Well, listen, I'll see you tomorrow morning. And and before you go, how many third graders do you think that you can beat up at once, without it being too many? Like just one too many. Like if they're coming after you.
Boys, girls.
Yeah, boy. You know what? Boys and girls, or just they're coming at you. And
I can take about 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
All right.
Easy.
Okay, I like that. It's a responsible number. Tracy, you look fantastic. And tell Will I say hello, and everybody over there at the Beans household, and I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, Frank. Thanks for having me. And Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Oh, boy. Hello? Who is this?
Hello.
Who is
Hey,
it?
Frank.
Is this Norbin Laden?
It is.
Nor.
Coming live in my favorite corner of the internet.
Oh my God! You know what though? Every time you call in, and I understand that it is a time difference, and you are calling at an ungodly hour for most people, but you do it for us time and time again. And I always say, you want to pre-record this, you want to send something in, you want to send a video. You say, no, let me set my alarm. Every time you call in, because you're usually doing it from bed, it sounds so comfy. Like I feel like I am in bed now too. Is that where you are? Tell me you're in bed right now. You have to be.
I am, and just to paint the picture properly, I also have a hot water bottle. So this is like proper late night cozy time.
Oh, well, very. And what's the time over there? Like 1 a.m, 1:45?
It's 10 to 2 a.m.
Oh, well.
But I love your show. I say it time and time again. It's my favorite corner of the internet, and I was so pleased you asked me to come on your special for Christmas for your guests and friends. And I also love the Franklies, and your audience is so lovely. And so I'm very happy to be here with you live tonight.
Well, it's great to have you here. And so, listen, I don't know when it is. I always pray for the day that you say, Frank, guess what? I just chartered myself a flight to U.S., and I'm going to be making a bunch of different stops, and New York is one of them. Whenever the hell that day comes, it will be a blessing. But in the meantime, what can you give us as far as your hopes and goals and dreams for the new year, and then maybe a prediction if you want to balance all that goodness out with something a little bit more sobering? Go right ahead.
Listen, it's been already quite a year reflecting on 2023, and Christmas time and arriving towards New Year's is always a good time to reflect on what has passed. And if you look at just the last few days, in terms of predictions, I think we're pretty much on the same page when we acknowledge that 2024 is going to be quite a ride. And we should buckle up and get some strength, because we're going to need it. I don't know what and to what extent they're going to throw madness and chaos at us next year. But with the 2024 elections in November, you can bet that the next 11 months are going to be intense, if we even get an election. But I am hopeful. I am determined. And I think we should keep carrying on no matter what they throw at us, because they are counting on us being demoralized and being fatigued. And this is very much part of the operation, right? But we have to band together and keep our heads up high. And since it's Christmas, I do want to leave with this saying that I came across, which I think is so fitting for our times. But we have to remember that we are restless until we rest in God. And I think if we keep this in mind, no matter all the restlessness that is thrown at us, if we seek that solace and that strength, we will get through 2024.
Nor,
and beyond.
Well, I'm not going to push you to say anything better than that, because that's exactly what I was looking for tonight. And you brought a lot of peace and a lot of calm to this, and I thank you so much for setting your alarm and spending a few precious minutes with us. I hope that you call me if you ever need anything, and I will talk to you soon, because I got to get you on the schedule for a proper appearance in 2024 subido. So let's do that.
With great pleasure, and Merry Christmas to everyone, and God bless you all, and we'll speak very soon.
All right. Merry Christmas. Take care.
Merry Christmas. Thank you, Frank.
Hey, I want to wish a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of the Franklies out there. It was my pleasure to join Frank during the summer reading Shoeless Joe. Thank you to those of you that were able to follow along. It was a real treat for me, and we hope to do it next year as well. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Charlie. We've got a video greeting over here from Brian Cates.
Hello, this is Brian Cates here, intrepid political columnist and pundit at the Rise of the New Media newsletter, wishing all you Quite Frankly viewers a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Brian. I would like to introduce you all to Tony Merkel. Tony, how you doing, man?
Doing well, man. Thank you for having me.
Dude, no, first of all, we've spoken through voice notes for months and months and months and all that stuff, and I've got you on the schedule for, I think, January 24th this year, but it's a real honor to introduce you to my audience, and I love your work, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun together in the new year.
Absolutely. I wanted to make sure when you invited me on to hop on here. I'm at the house right now, so this is my wife's office. That's why there's a pink pill in the background. Just don't judge me. You know?
I'm wearing a Nutcracker sweater tonight, Tony. It's all right. It's
fair.
It's totally fine. So everybody, you may or may not know, but you will soon. Tony, tell everybody about your show and the work that you do.
Yeah, so I host the Confessionals podcast. It is a show where I interview people on their bizarre experiences in life. A lot of it's paranormal, cryptid, monsters of the woods, abductions, things like that. And we go over their experiences in a very Joe Rogan-esque way, where we sit down, have a conversation, really don't have a plan on where it's going to go. It's just going to be a good conversation. And I've been doing that for 7 years. And then that evolved into Merkel Media, which is my company that I started. I thought it was just going to be a podcast company, and now we're doing movies and films, documentaries, which I think I call adventure action documentaries. I don't know what else to call it. Like, me and my team go out there in the woods and we look for monsters in areas that have been talked about on the show. So that's what I'm doing, and it's been a blast. I'm enjoying it. It got me out of truck driving, which is great. In fact, I found you listening to your show while I was a truck driver trying to build my podcast. I think you had 30,000 subscribers at the time, and now you're over 100,000. It's great, man. I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you so much. As I always say, it's really just a testament to the time put in, because I wish I can say I'm reaching that 100,000, but I really appreciate it, and I love watching your stuff. And in fact, we just interviewed Ashton Forbes, and I believe you really got his media tour kicked off with all of his work with MH370, and so it was really it's awesome just to see new media. Really, it's its own thing now. It's not that it's budding, it's germinating. It's really its own thing, and there's so many great established things that are going on, and the momentum is all ours. And I'm really happy that we're all working together, and that we're also not drowning in news, because these are the things that people need. These conversations, they need to say, "What if?" They need to go in the woods and hunt for monsters sometimes.
Yeah, and that's the thing I'll tell you about Ashton. I mean, that happened so fast. Somebody tagged me in one of his threads on a Friday night. I saw it at midnight. I messaged him, and then I commented and said, "Hey, I DM'd you my info. Get a hold of me so we can talk more personal." And that Saturday morning, I'm talking to him on the phone, buying a plane ticket, flew him in on Sunday to be in studio. We had a 2-hour show and flew him out on Sunday. I was the fastest turnaround I've ever done. But it was definitely worth it. I mean, the guy has so much information, and I just told him, I said, just talk. And he did. And that was fantastic. And this whole new world we live in with the technology and everything has really been a blessing to be involved in. I never expected to be doing this kind of stuff for a living. I mean, I didn't graduate college, but I did go to college. I went to a Bible college and studied ministry for a while and figured that wasn't for me. And I decided to become a truck driver. And, I thought I'd be settling into truck driving for the rest of my life, but here I am, making movies and documentaries and podcasts. So it's been a wild ride for sure.
It's great. It really is. It is. And so leave everybody with some Christmas and New Year thoughts. And I'm really looking forward to your first official appearance on the show in a few weeks.
Yeah. So I a little bit about me. I once had a radio show, very short-lived, called Rage Against Dystopia. And that's kind of that's my mindset. I tend to read tea leaves in a very negative way, but it is the holiday season, so I'll do it in the way that I typically operate my life. So when I see the future coming down, and obviously next year, 2024, there's going to be a lot of craziness, and everybody's going to be tuning into your show to see what's going on. But in the midst of those storms, I tend to just really put my head down. And obviously, I pay attention to what's going on around me. I have opinions, and I talk about it whenever it's available to a platform to talk about. But I tend to just really get hyper-focused on my goals, on what I want out of my life, because at the end of the day, that's the only thing I can control. And I always think, like, if me doing what I do, creating, podcasts and documentaries and films, if that's taken away from me and off the table, there's a good chance we're all in the same boat at that point anyways. Yeah. There's a good chance that, like, nobody's logging on the internet because they hacked it or something. So I just kind of really get micro-focused and hone in on my goals. This coming year is going to be a very big year for what I'm doing. I'm releasing three films, essentially. One is going to be actually a movie. It has acting. We shot it in Colorado. Speaking of Colorado, we shot it in Colorado this past summer. And so I'm just really excited about what I'm doing and what I got going. And I keep, focused on what's going on around me, but knowing that I really can't change a whole lot of that, I tend to just stay really hyper-focused. And I encourage people to do the same thing. Get those goals with your life. We tend to live our lives on default a lot of times, and we don't really control the change that's inevitable. I'm 38 years old. When I was 28, I was a completely different person. When I was 28, I was in the middle of just 100% dedicating my life to driving truck, and podcasting wasn't on the radar. And a lot of things have changed in the last 10 years of my life, and it was all controlled change. I had a goal, I had a mission, I hyper-focused on it, and I pursued it. And I think that people should pursue that more, that kind of way of living more, because there's a good chance you're going to change 10 years from now either way. Whether you mean to or not, you will be a different person. Just like anybody who's been married for a lengthy period of time, your spouse will tell you you're a different person than the person that they married, because you just change on default. So why not control that change in 2024 and try to be the person you want to be? We're all about the New Year's resolutions and stuff in the beginning of the year. Well, actually do that and make a change in your life for the better, whatever you want to see out of your life. I've seen far too many people get started in just like this content creation industry at an age that you wouldn't think they would be, and be successful at it. So even age isn't a hurdle to jump. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. Just find what makes you tick and pursue it this year. And with all the landmines going on around you and stuff, just bob and weave, dodge, and stay hyper-focused on those goals for your life. That's the only thing you can control.
Oh, Tony, very well said. And yeah, you're right. Especially if your goal is not to become a major league pitcher, you have a lot of time. You have a lot of time to figure it out and to tinker. But as long as you're tinkering, as long as you're working, and I appreciate you stopping by tonight. It's good meeting you, man. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We'll talk soon.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you and everybody else.
There you go, Tony Merkel, The Confessionals. Go check him out right now, and you will see him on the show, I believe, on the 24th, right, Tone?
Yes, I believe 24th, yes.
All right. Thank you, man. Have a good night.
Take care.
There you go. Here's a familiar face.
Folks, it's your friend, So Dude, coming to you in the early morning hours of an Oregon morning. Wanted to take a second to wish each and every one of the Franklies and even you Franciscans a very Merry Christmas and a healthy and happy New Year. I've got a couple of thoughts about 2024. One of them I know will come to pass. That is the fact that this is going to be the year, thanks to voices like Frank's, that we take back our country. We become an informed public and own the US of A again. My second prediction may not happen in 2044, but I'm telling you, you can take this one to the bank. One day, quite frankly, is going to be the new Tonight Show. And you heard that from your brother Zoe.
Oh, Zoe.
Merry Christmas, everyone. God bless.
Oh, Zoe, that's very, very kind of you. Here's one from Robert Phoenix. Robert Phoenix is in here.
Robert Phoenix here from the Hill Country and of robertphoenix.com in the 11th house. I want to wish Frank, his family, and the Quite Frankly crew an absolutely great Christmas. And for the rest of you merry Franksters out there, I wish you more of the same. And remember, in 2024, you get to put your big boy and big girl pants on. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be showtime.
It's going to be showtime. There's Robert Phoenix. Really graceful. Looking radiant as ever, of course. Let's hear what Grace has to say.
Hey, Internet friends. Grace here. Just having a little coffee. And I am drinking the Quite Frankly Elevation Blend, which is an organic, creamy, balanced light roast. And it is wonderful, and you need to get you some. So I wanted to say Merry Christmas to Frank and his family, to all the regulars on Frank's show, and to everyone who tunes in every night. Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a wonderful 2024 that's full of happiness, success, health, and prosperity.
And joining us, who is that right there? Is this Shane Cashman?
Yo, what's good, Frank?
Damn, man, you look chic.
I wanted to get nice for you, and I had a little tequila, you know.
Oh my God!
Celebrating.
It looks good. You look really good. You really do. But then again, you seem like you are a little bit more embracing of your world traveler kind of a personality now. You are literally everywhere. Every time I turn around, you're doing something different. You're on another big show. Jeez, a big year.
I'm a time traveler now. That's why I was like going for this. I feel like this is the time traveler from the 70s.
You look like DB.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
DB Cooper.
Yeah, that's how I got to my studio. I jumped out of an airplane. I have a suitcase of money over here.
So, dude, give us some Christmas wishes, some Christmas thoughts, and give us some thoughts about the new year, because I'm sure that you're going to have a very busy one. You already are.
Yeah, it's been crazy. So, first of all, this is like our year anniversary of me meeting you. The first time I did your show was last December.
Was it?
So, yep.
Wow.
Yep. Early December. Thank you for that. That was amazing. I love doing your show. I'm glad to be here tonight. Christmas wishes. A big one, I think will solve a lot of problems, is if the Large Hadron Collider explodes. I think if that thing goes, I think we're like a lot better. We're in a way better place. So if we can all just like pray on that, I think that would be amazing.
That's right.
The other, I really want that. And then I've been thinking a lot about accountability. And I think I would wish for like a successful Nuremberg trials 2.0 for all those bureaucrats who are responsible and the so-called experts who murdered lots of people over the last few years. So I'd like to see those. Those are two wishes I'd really like to come to fruition in 2024. Predictions. I think this one's possible, really possible. I think that they're going to try to find a way to stop people like us from subverting the narrative. You know, like during COVID, during lockdowns, there's like new media space really like, I really mean this, saved people's lives. Like showed them like there's another angle to reality. You don't have to buy into the corporate press or the bureaucrat hypocrite class. And now since that happened, they're like, we got to turn them off. So I feel like they're going to have this internet apocalypse they've been warning us about. They're going to blame it on a solar flare. but they're just going to like find a way to just jam up the whole thing. So we need to be prepared on how to communicate within our own community and beyond.
You know what? It's a really interesting concept there, or a thought, just in general. How many people may have already had their lives saved by new media in ways that may be totally it'd be very hard to calculate it, obviously, but on a number of different fronts. Think about how people's have been willingly, just through discernment and introduction of new information that allows them to make better decisions on a number of fronts, how they may have saved their lives.
Look, like I know people who did not get the vaccine because they were offered another view, right, on what could happen to them. Like people who might have prior like syndromes, diseases, or whatever, health, immunity issues, and they're like, you know what? Everyone else is telling me to take this, but there is this possibility I'm reading about that might not be good. How many children might have been saved from like gender reassignment bullshit surgeries or, puberty blockers because their parents were buying into this world, and then all of a sudden they're like, maybe we'll wake up. I've seen people wake up. I've seen people I never thought would wake up. People who condemned me, exiled me from the friend group are like hitting me up now being like, I learned a lot last year. And I'm not even the one, I can't even take credit for it, but I think they went on their path. They heard what they had to hear, and then they circled back and said, you know what? I wasn't as insane as I thought, at least in the ways that they had previously thought.
Well, that's always some good validation right there. Well, Shane, I'm so happy that you stopped by. The other thing I got to say about your getup right here is because the circle light that is lighting your face is showing up in the reflection of the glasses, it looks like you have googly eyes. And
I was hoping for that. I was trying to find the right angle for those, actually. Dude. That I couldn't see from this far back.
Well, listen. Merry Christmas to you, to the whole crew. Give Tim Pool a tickle under the chin for me. Say Frank says hi. I DM'd him not too long ago, but of course that's a crapshoot. I get an answer. Would love for him to come up here and jam at the studio on air one day. But
yes, that would be awesome.
It's send my best to your family, and also safe travels because you're a traveling man. And I can't wait to have you on again, man. I hope that you're well for this Christmas season.
Thanks, man. God bless.
All right, talk to you soon. Look at this atmosphere, my good buddy. How are you, Zach Payne? It's great to have you on Red Pill 78.
Welcome. Thank you for having me, Frank. It's good to be here. Merry Christmas.
You look like you're calling me from the set of Tron.
You should see the plasma ball I have going over here. Hold on. Let me change my camera angle.
Let's see here. Oh, wow. Look at this. Oh man, I had a plasma ball, and we moved it into the other room, but that is great, man.
Yeah, that's what Lisa got me for Christmas. So
tremendous. So you know what? I want to bring you on and ask you first and foremost, what do you have going on for Christmas, and what do you want to convey to the world?
Honestly, it's going to be really low key. Lisa and I are just hanging out here. We're not entertaining. Well, actually, I'm sorry. Her daughter is coming here. I completely forgot about that. So we are entertaining one person, but it's still going to be low key. We're going to make dinner here at the house. And really, that's it. Just taking it easy, getting some time off. I've got Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. I'm looking forward to that. I can't tell you the last time I had 3 days off in a row. So I'm stoked.
I'm stoked too. I'm taking off Tuesday as well. I'm taking off the 26th.
Where are you going?
Oh, where am I going? My living room? I don't.
Perfect.
Oh, who is that? Is our second of the duo showing up right now? Adel, is that you?
That is me. What's up, Frank?
Oh, look at you, all chic outside. You got leather on and everything.
Yeah, we're at one of the nicest steakhouses in Pittsburgh right now, doing a little dinner with my buddies. Just ordered a fillet with a little lobster tail. I'm very excited about this meal that's about to come.
Oh, man, you're doing surf and turf.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Living it up, man. Living it up.
Hey, now, listen, Zach, what do you think about this? Adel went for the fillet. Don't you think he should have gone for something with a little bit more marbleization?
I mean, I'm good with that, but there is something to be said for a perfectly cooked fillet that just melts in your mouth. If it's got a thick slab of garlic butter on top, I really can't beat it. So, honestly, I love ribeye. Okay, hands down, ribeye is amazing. And but the other thing is that fillet is amazing as well. So anytime we go out for steak, when I have to choose between the two, it's a very difficult proposition.
Wow.
It was very difficult tonight. I'm not going to lie. There was some aged ribeyes on the menu that sounded very, very good. But I went with the fillet because anytime I go to a really nice place, that's typically what I go for. So,
Adel, what are you going for as far as did you bring any appetizers out? Did you order a cocktail? Is this a night that you will take out an old fashioned, a White Russian? What are you going for?
So I did a smoked old fashioned. It was absolutely fantastic, and we did some calamari for an appetizer, which is also very, very good. So this place is excellent.
Let me ask this: Did you have like a garlic mustard aioli with that calamari, or was it just a standard marinara?
No, it was actually in a sweet and spicy Thai sauce, like a Thai chili sweet and spicy sauce. It was really, really good.
Oh, well, that's unexpected, but I'd take it, I guess.
That is unexpected. Yeah. I know what you're talking about with the spicy aioli. They bring that out a lot there too. I like the marinara. I like that. But I'll go with anything. Especially if they could just give me some lemon. I'll just squeeze it. Yeah. I was looking into that.
Absolutely.
I was looking into recipes today. I was looking into recipes today because I told Lauren, I said, you know what, for Christmas, I'd like to, let's pick out some recipes. I'd like to be a part of the cooking here, and I want to do something different. And stuffed calamari, it had popped up there, and I have never done that. Now, that's something totally different. Have you ever had stuffed calamari?
I have not. That sounds amazing, though.
Yes.
What was it stuffed with?
Oh, it's stuffed with you can make it with breadcrumbs, but also the tentacles of the. So you keep the bodies intact, but you chop up the tentacles and you create. There's so many ways that you can actually stuff it with breadcrumbs and the oil and sun-dried tomato, all types of things, and you put it inside of the bodies. And then you have to pin them together. You actually use a toothpick to keep them sealed, and then it's something a lot different than what people get at the restaurants. But anyway, that you sound like you have a really great thing going on there tonight. Let me ask you, Zach, when you go out on a night like that, what do you usually order as a cocktail?
Well, I don't drink at all, so it would be water with lemon.
Okay, that's
maybe a root beer or something like that.
Well, yeah, usually I'm going for seltzer and lime myself. Okay. So that's fantastic. Well, you know what? Let me just let you guys both say something a little bit about Christmas and whatever you want to convey to everybody at home. Go ahead. I don't care who starts.
Well, I think that this Christmas is a little unlike the years of Christmas past. We're kind of in this transition period between the old world and the new, and people are looking at 2024 not really knowing what to expect, and all I can say is the only thing that you have any certainty of is the company of the people that mean something to you and that matter in your life, and that's really the only thing I think that you should be focusing on with any certainty, because everything else is up for debate. You have no idea of what's coming down the pike. We can talk about this, guess, we can wax philosophical on all of it, but I think the only thing that I'm really certain of is that I'm going to have the people that I love at my side and that I got no idea of what's coming next.
Very, very, very responsible thing to say there. And it also, it leaves a lot of space for really good things to happen.
Sure.
I understand people don't want to go all in on the doom and gloom. They don't want to go all in on the pie in the sky either. And it's just good just to say, hey, you know what? It's a blank canvas, and we all have choices to make. So let's just do that. Go ahead, Adel, because I want you to go back to that succulent meal that you have coming your way.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, just kind of echoing what Zach said, but I do think 2024 is going to be a transformative year. I talked about a groundswell, like a raising consciousness happening. I think we're going to start to see the fruits of that in 2024. I think it's going to be a wild and crazy year. So enjoy the holiday now. Like Zach said, be around the people you love, enjoy their company, and just be ready for what's to come, because I think the next 12 to 18 months are going to be like none other we've ever experienced. So I'm just looking forward to taking the ride with you guys. And Frank, I'm so grateful you invited me on tonight, man. It was awesome to come on and do this.
Well, listen, I know that this is a time of night for both of you guys where you're usually all very tired from a day of talking and working. So I'm just glad that you made some time for me. And I will say one thing going into 2024, that Thursdays at 4 o'clock will always be a very big thing that I look forward to, hanging out with you both. And we'll do this more often in the new year, no doubt about it.
Likewise.
Sounds good.
All right, guys.
All right, thanks for having me. Merry Christmas and buckle up.
Merry Christmas. Take care.
See ya.
Much love, Frank. See everybody.
Much love. It's Carpe Diem. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, and you look great too. Damn, you got some great lighting in there.
Yeah, here I'll show you. Just amazing lighting.
Oh, look at that. Well, see, there you go. This is why they say that the moon landing was faked. What you're able to.
Right. If you can make me look this good, then you can fake the moon landing for sure.
Well, you look healthy and you look happy. That's all that matters. And let me ask you, going into 2024, give me some thoughts. First of all, give us some Christmas wishes if you have any. But 2024, I'm interested about your outlook, because you're a guy who's been through the ringer, and I have to imagine that you have insight on both sides of that fence. And I'd like to just know what you're doing going into sailing into the fog with us in this big year.
Well, I mean, we're going into 2024, and the election is going to just go crazy, right? I mean, I can't imagine that it's going to slow down.
No.
So we got that coming up, and nothing magical happens on the first of the year, but something magical does sort of happen. Everything goes just through the roof. You thought that like the rhetoric was kind of bad before. It's going to go even worse, I'm sure. And you'll see some people drop out. I'm hoping you'll see some people drop out. Maybe the Nikki Haley's or the Chris Christie's. Has Chris Christie dropped out already?
I don't know. I do not know. But here's the thing. I look at going into this. Obviously, on that level, it's going to take care of itself. But on let's just talk about new media. I know that you, in the past, you've expressed a little bit of hesitance of going so hard in the paint with all the memes and stuff like that, just because of what it's cost you in the past. And also now we have seen for the first time ever, I think in this country, with somebody going to jail for memes. Right. This is it's become a little bit more of a dangerous line of work, this brand of comedy and this kind of observational comedy, than any time in American history. So does that give you a little bit of pause, or does that make you a little bit more resolved in the months and years to come?
Well, I wrote a thread. I'm sure that's what you're referencing. Is I wrote a thread, a couple of weeks back, where I basically sort of talked about what I would consider like a little bit of cowardice on my own part about not wanting to, get sued again, and just the things that weigh on my mind when it's not the same as it used to be, where I just make stuff. It's fun. Some of the fun has been drained out of it. That lawfare stuff just will drain the fun out of it, really anything, like immediately. So, I mean, there's always that thing sort of in the back of my mind of like, is this worth, $100,000 lawsuit? And then, 9 times out of 10, my answer is no, it's not. It's not. Like getting some giggles online is probably not worth the $100,000 lawsuit. But as we go into this next year, I think that things will be. I think I'll have to make that calculation differently, just because things are going to be more important as we get closer to the date. I think some of that inspiration, because that was the other part of that thread, was that, and I didn't touch too heavily on it, but the inspiration has been really low too. And I guess that was one of the other reasons that I said that I hadn't been making much in the way of videos lately. everything sort of feels just so real. It's not sort of just an intangible anymore. It's, it's the Biden administration using the DOJ and the FBI as weapons and cudgels to beat conservatives with. And finding the humor in that is so much more difficult than just making fun of like CNN for saying that Trump was going to do those things.
Yeah.
When it's actually happening, it's not, the funny is not there as much. I can still find humor when he falls down the stairs and, when he falls off his bike and things like that.
Yeah.
Those are funny, but really poking at some of those like real issues is not nearly as much fun as it used to be.
Well, you remember back, it was probably around 2000, some point in 2016, like it makes me nostalgic to think about Hillary Clinton's coughing fits. Like when to think how that actually warms my heart to think about those days. Oh, she was coughing again. Oh, did you see? You remember when she kind of like coughed up
She spit that thing up?
Yeah, that green glob of something into her water. We're like, it's a fucking alien. There's something going. Like it's coming out of her now. That was just so. But I understand it, man. I don't see it as cowardice at all. I think that it's something that gives a lot of people pause. We're in the middle of a war. I think it's a little bit more sobering to realize, it's not fun and games. This is actually a war, and I also understand why, as you're standing at the precipice of a new year, and you had become so prestigious in new media over the last few years, becoming so close with President Trump himself and everything else. I understand.
We're like this. We braid each other's hair.
Well, he knows you.
We're that close.
Well, he'd be able to pick you out of a crowd. That's for sure. Can't.
All right, maybe.
I can't say that about me, but I understand that pause, and I understand that after a while, like, okay, $100,000 lawsuit, a couple of giggles, but it's more than that when you think about it. As you're just saying, it's the principle, and it's also the future. So. With all that on the table,
it's important to overcome some of that because it is. I mean, you are talking about, do we want to lose the republic? And some people are gonna have to get sort of sacrificed on the altar of making progress towards getting our country back. So
then, in the face of all that heavy lifting that there is to come and all those choices to be made, what can you leave us with for this Christmas, my friend?
Enjoy your family. Try not to fight too much with family, but still put some digs in there if you can. I don't know. Be good. I don't have a whole lot of parting words other than just have a good time, have a Merry Christmas, and thank you for having me on here.
Dude, you have yourself a wonderful Christmas and a great New Year. We will be in touch as always, and I hope one day, if you're ever for some reason passing through this godforsaken state, I'd love for you to hang out in the studio one night, and all the best to you and yours.
Awesome. Perfect, man.
Thank you so much. Have a good one, my man.
Yeah, you too.
There you go. Carpe Diem, ladies and gentlemen. We have a call, actually a video from Sam Tripoli.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? I want to wish all of the fans and listeners of the Quite Frankly show, the Frankenlist, the Frankensteins, the Frankencons, whatever your names are, you're a powerful tribe. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. Enjoy your pagan holiday, worshiping pagan gods. Nimrod is why. Nimrod's why they got a tree, right? Because Nimrod's wife, after Nimrod passed, Nimrod's wife's like, oh, he's back. Look at this tree growing inside of a tree. And that's why you have trees, because it's a pagan holiday. Get the Lord, brother. Love Jesus. Jesus in my heart. God above all. Let's go. Bang, bang, pow. Merry Christmas, guys. Enjoy the gifts, okay? Enjoy the first ever. Let's face it, the first real conspiracy is Santa Claus. It's a blackmailing scheme, all right? Santa Claus is Jeffrey Epstein. Let's face it. Anyways, I love you all. I love Frank. Frank, you're crushing it. Keep up the great work. Merry Christmas to the Frankensteins. Yeah, I love you guys. Can't wait to get back on, Quite Frankly. Bang.
Yes. I can't wait until you come back too, Sam.
Hello, all my fellow Franciscans. Hope you are doing well. Just want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a happy new year, and give a quick prediction for 2024. Payne. No, I think 2024 is going to be a year that we all wake up from the coma that we have been in, and it's going to be a year to follow our golden threads as individuals and find our souls. Happy holiday season. Merry Christmas. Love you guys. See you soon.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Vinny Brusco. Oh, here you go. Here's a short one from Lindsay Sharman. How nice.
Merry Christmas to, quite frankly, your amazing audience and everybody listening. I hope you have the best winter, New Year's, and everything from Lindsay Sharman at Rogue Ways. Mwah.
There you go. Thank you so much, Lindsay. Oh, Tony Arterburn has stopped by. Take a listen to this.
Hey, quite frankly, family, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and I say what a privilege it is to be a guest on Frank's program and sponsor this magnificent show and all that Frank does. It's just a lot of wisdom and news and resources and guests. It's entertaining, but you also walk away knowing a little bit more than you did the day before, so it's always a privilege to be associated with the show. Predictions for 2024, gold will again break another all-time high. Bitcoin will have another banner year over 2023. Silver is going to have maybe not its all-time high, but it's going to be above the $30 range, most likely. Not investment advice, but I think we're going to see a further decline in the dollar. Our geopolitical system is under stress, but good will prevail as long as good men do something. Merry Christmas. Talk soon.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Tony. It's Fleckus. Fleckus got in on the fun.
Hello, Frank. Hello, Matt. Hello, everyone watching. Hope everyone's doing well right before Christmas. Obviously, Christmas, time of giving, gifts, like we spoke about last week on the show. Skin condition Ken makes a great gift for the holidays. It's a little different from the toys I used to make. I have a couple here. We got Dan Crenshaw, the rhino with the eye patch. The Hillary Clinton receptacle van. That was the van she got stuffed into at the 9/11 memorial that time. A dog-faced pony soldier. That is a dog head on a horse body in a soldier costume. And of course, Joe Biden. There he is. Nice and easy. Joe Biden. So each side has their own version of gifts, I guess. But I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Hope you guys are doing well. Frank, I'm excited to come back on the show next year, 2024. Let's have a good year, and let's do what we need to do to win the election. All right, guys, Merry Christmas.
We got another video message here. And who is this from? It's from John Ward.
Frank.
Yes?
It's John Ward. Wishing you and the Quite Frankly crew and audience a Merry Christmas from the mezzanine, which I am currently tearing down in preparation for 2024, for which you've asked me to make a prediction of what I think will happen in the coming year. But Frank, I can't make a prediction because I already know. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Sandbagging it, holding out on us. He knows what's going on, and just you can't get around to it. Chrissy Mayr, thank you for stopping by.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I'm late, Frank. What was going to be a quick dinner turned into just a horrific. Like everything took longer. Always when you're in a rush, everything takes longer.
But was it bad?
It was good. I had some steak, and I shared a creme brulee. Because when you share dessert, it's almost like it doesn't count.
No, it doesn't count. But you know, you're eating for two right now, so yeah, that all.
That's what they say, but I'm also not trying to be a whale.
I know what you mean. That's good that you take that into consideration. So listen, since we have a little bit less time than we had before, I'm still happy you showed up. And
it looks like you're hiding behind your computers, like you've built a fort. What is that outfit?
This is my
I
nutcracker.
didn't know you were gay. You're coming out to everyone.
It's my gay
Happy holidays.
my gay nutcracker sweater. I want to let you spend a couple of moments just telling everybody what kind of mindset you want them to take into the new year or the Christmas.
Ooh.
Go ahead, just give us some Christmas and New Year's thoughts.
Christmas and New Year's thoughts. I would say, do not find a balance between learning and reading up and being prepared, but don't let that black pill you or make you overly cynical. I would say pursue self-improvement, but also don't be too hard on yourself as well, because that's something I always do. But yeah, I think overall, whatever issue you want to work on, okay, I really want to meet someone this year, just don't let yourself get too cynical and too black-pilled about the future too. I think those of us, if you're really into crypto or you're watching the economy really closely and you're like, oh shit, when you start feeling like, man, what's the point? Shit is just hitting the fan. You have to step back. And I think for me, it's watching videos of animals having fun. I find watching a dog just going up and down, sliding down a snowy hill, or birds on little skateboards helps. So we've just bought for our pandemic tortoise a little skateboard, and I don't know if he's gonna be going fast on it, or if it's more like a little medical skateboard that actually is going to help him walk a bit faster. But there will be videos, and I will be posting the results.
Well, I gotta say, motherhood looks good on you already. This is really good advice. This is really good advice. I thank you so much for this. So
wow, thanks. Because I it's really just anytime someone gives advice, it's always advice for themselves, right? So I just find man, I'm never reading enough, and then I'm never learning enough. I'm never doing enough. But it's also all right, there's only so many.
There's only so much you can do. I feel the same way too. I really do. It's just okay, well, if I'm not learning more things, then I'm not going to be able to have better opinions on stuff. Wait a second, no, you got to be anchored to something. If you got to be anchored to something that is lasting, anchored to something that is timeless, and if you maintain that connection, everything else really just does come and go fashion trends, and you pick things up along the way as long as you're a good listener. I think that's the best thing. If you're a good listener, you'll be surprised what you just pick up, and
right.
Anyway,
and instead of doing resolutions, I would say just try to pick one bad habit or something you want to change for the whole year. For me, if I was going to do a resolution, it would be let's figure out how to address procrastination.
Yes.
Or and just taking your goals into little bite-sized, very doable chunks. If it's fitness, schedule those workouts in as if it's a doctor's appointment. Make it that unmissable.
You know what I did? I wanted to get back into the reading game. I wanted to start reading more books like I used to do years ago. And what I did was I started a book club. So all of a sudden I am beholden to other people. I've got to get these chapters in because I got to talk about them. And
your accountability buddies.
Yeah, that's it. So I started a book club, and so things like that. But Chrissy, thank you so much. Please send my love over there to Cabinet, to Frank, and I hope I see you guys soon. And when's the baby due again?
Someone made this for me out of Legos.
How's nice?
The filing cabinet. April 18th or 19th.
Oh, great! Another April baby. Well, this has been wonderful.
Who knows? I'm hoping he'll wait and be a Taurus. That would be a personal favor to me.
When's your birthday?
November 11th.
Okay. All right.
I'm a Scorpio.
Anyway, that's great. Thank you for stopping by, Chrissy. Merry Christmas to you, to Frank, the whole family, and I hope to have you on again soon.
For sure. Absolutely.
So, ChrissyMayr.com. I saw your next gig is in January. You're just taking it easy for the holidays.
I'll be in the city next Wednesday, hopping on my friend Gino Bisconti's show at Stand Up New York. So that's next Wednesday. And then I'll be in San Diego at the Mic Drop Comedy Club January 5th and 6th. The And I'll be back in Dallas January 25th at Hyenas, and then Tiff's Ale House in Morris Plains, New Jersey, February 24th. So come see me live, guys, and then they won't let me fly anymore because apparently none of the flight attendants want to scrub placenta out of the carpets.
Oh my
on the
gosh!
planes.
So what are you doing? You're going to be driving to San Diego?
I can I'll stop flying at the beginning of February.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll stop there. Well,
And then it'll be like localish stuff.
well, thank you, Chrissy, and we'll talk to you soon. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. My plan is to give birth in an Uber so I can save on the hospital bills.
Yeah, because you can stay there. It's squatters' rights. They can't kick you out of the Uber. You can stay in the car.
It's only $100 for a cleaning fee. I checked.
That's it. It's all set up. All right, my friend. Have a good night.
Bye, Frank.
Take care. Be well. Timothy, how are you, my friend?
Yo, Frank, how are you, brother?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very, very well. It's good to have you on, and I had to have you in here tonight. Just yesterday, I was reading a piece that you read that you had written in I think 2016 or something. When was that piece?
Yeah, that was from far enough back such that Catholic Answers would have me. I do think it was 2016. Yeah, things have changed since then.
I know, and it was about the most important and maybe sometimes overlooked imagery of Christmas. And the one thing that I really zeroed in on as I was reading it to myself was the three kings, the Magi. And that is just something that's so magical, mystical to me that I'd love to talk about at great length on a night that we have the time. But while you're here for just a couple of short minutes, please give everybody some Christmas wishes and some thoughts for going into the new year.
Well, please, everyone, just pray, whether you're praying on your rosary beads or however, just for Christians worldwide, Christians in the Middle East, particularly our faith, the Roman Catholic faith. We obviously need it. You see world events and what's going on in the Vatican. Pray for all Christians, but especially the Roman Catholic Church, and as I pray for Eastern Orthodox and Protestant Christians. And just remember, as I point out in that article, that our Lord Christ being born in a manger, remember what that is. That's an animal food trough. Prefigurement of John chapter 6, where the bread of life discourse. It's the actual verb for animal gnawing. Gnawing. I want you to consume me in the Eucharist. That's what we are thinking about when we think of the Christ child, newborn king, King of Kings, born in an animal food trough. It's actually a beautiful image, and it's very stark. And the world, as you know, Franklin, the world needs it now more than perhaps ever before.
Yes. Yeah, and I knew that it was going to be somewhere along those lines, because it's just the only thing I can come up with too, is pray often and really meditate on goodness and be of service wherever you can, and that's just really it. That's really it. So before we go, give me one of the more cherished Christmas traditions that you do with your very, very large, healthy, wonderful family.
Tonight, right after I finish this, I set aside time for my good buddy yourself, but we're gonna go to an adjacent neighborhood and look at the Christmas lights, in the car. Everyone will get a little hot chocolate or something. That's a common one. At the best neighborhood for driving through here in South Mississippi. And of course we look forward to Christmas Eve, probably more than Christmas morning in my house, because everyone exchanges a gift or two.
Yeah.
And we put it on the place of the long dining room table. We light the candles and we play, Gaudete and Come Emmanuel and go to Christmas Eve Mass. And it feels more procedurally correct than even Christmas morning, where it's just unwrapping gifts and wrapping paper everywhere.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. It's always been Christmas Eve. Even if you come from, like, coming up in the 90s when we were all growing up. Yeah, we went to Christmas Eve mass, but it was more of I wasn't really mentally really present for any of it. But even when it was just solely focused on, hey, it's Christmas Eve, it's family, it's just the whole thing leading up to Christmas Day, there was always something more that I guess it's appropriate to say there's a pregnancy, there's a pregnant feeling to the night where that's just the anticipation just is so much better than even Christmas morning in that respect. Even when you can't put your finger on why, it's just it always swept me up like that, and I feel that's pretty universal.
Yeah, it's weird because, like you said, growing up in the 90s, I think Michael Knowles has said it best. I was an atheist by the time I was confirmed in 8th grade. But even then, Christmas morning, that was just all about the presents. Christmas Eve, going to Mass, whether we went to midnight Mass or the vigil, the late afternoon vigil, either way, it just felt magic. It's a palpable feel. Kind of like the one you and I speak about that we get in kind of the pit of our guts in October, but times 100 on Christmas Eve. And of course, since I realized that all of that stuff, even though it was being dressed up to not look true in Catholic school in the 90s, that actually all is the one true myth. Holy cow. Now it's like I get it times 100. And it's not about the presents at all, even though that adds, it's the cherry on top. But we go to Mass on Christmas Eve. We don't, with 7 kids, we don't tend to do the midnight Mass anymore. Go to Mass. We get back. Steph makes a big dinner, and everyone's gift is at their special place at the table. And after Mass, of course, it's Christmas liturgically for us, anyone that's gone to the vigil. So I go out to our big nativity scene outside, and a lot of the Baptists I live amongst here in Mississippi don't know. At the nativity scene, we just have the little lamb kind of centered beneath Mary's gaze and Joseph's gaze and the angel's gaze, and actually go get the Christ child and place him in the center the way the Pope does after the midnight Mass, and push the lamb off to the side. He's no longer the Agnus Dei, the placeholder. Now he's just the lamb on the side.
I love hearing about stuff like that. Obviously, we don't do anything too elaborate, but there's so much more behind it, and I love hearing about it. Tim, we'll be in touch over the next couple of days as we usually are. But thanks for coming on tonight, and it's always a pleasure. Send my best to the family.
I love you, man. I tell everybody you're one of my favorite people on the internet, but I think you're one of my favorite people on planet Earth. So I love you. Merry, happy Gaudete week and going into the 4th Advent Sunday. And Merry Christmas. I'll text you on Christmas Eve or something, brother.
Love you and everybody over there. That's it. Thank you, and Merry Christmas. Talk to you soon.
Peace, man.
Take care. All right. Is it our wonderful friend Chris Ann Hall?
Cheese.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's been a night of friends stopping by and telling me, what they're thinking for the new year and how they're going to spend Christmas, and leaving some nice words of encouragement for everybody. And that just happens to be your forte, to find the light and to find the silver and golden linings in all the day-to-day, food fighting that is always going on. So just, I don't know, riff a little bit. Give us some things to think about and contemplate this time of year, and all the, I don't know. Just be Chris Ann Hall for a couple minutes.
Okay. I can tell you that this time of the year, I feel re-energized, right? Because I spend the entire year, much like you do, engaging in the daunting and seemingly unrewarding activity of trying to educate and guide people and motivate them to stand in the defense of something that's intangible, right? Something that feels like maybe it ought to be, but the media media and the politicians and the politics and government, they're so against us, Frank, that it's just amazing how overwhelming and how big that can feel. Am I on track here?
You're 100%. I'm with you 100% of the way.
So I like to, at this time of the year, kind of reflect on what it is that keeps me going, right? What it is that goes into the victory. And I think a lot of times it really does mean that you have to redefine victory. I think maybe that's part of the downfall of those of us who are against socialism, against Marxism, against all of the insanity that has been plaguing us in our airwaves and in popular media. But you see, we have to realize that in reality, they're a minority and we're not. Just because you see it a lot on TV, just because you see it a lot on social media, doesn't mean it's actually true. And it's actually the majority. As a matter of fact, they work so hard at convincing you it is a majority of opinion because they know it's not. And I know this to be a fact, Frank, because you know, maybe people who are listening don't know, I travel the country. I talk to people all over the country. I probably talk to more people in America on a monthly, yearly basis than any other person in America does. I mean, there are people who have radio shows that reach a broader audience, but they don't actually converse and face-to-face with people.
Yeah.
And that's where we get our inspiration, right? That's where we get our true barometer of where America is at. And we are pulled into this identity politics. We are pulled into this desperate measure for division so that we will sow the seeds of discontent ourselves, destabilize our own society so that the Marxists and the socialists, they don't even have to raise a dime to do it. We're doing it all for them because we're repeating their narratives and we're fighting amongst each other and we're fighting the battles for them. And so when you travel around America, you can go to New York, you can go to California, you can go to, I don't know, the liberal states, Washington and Oregon. And can I just encourage you, Frank, and tell you, I know that sometimes we get stuck in our myopic little corners, and especially with all the lockdowns that we had, that people don't get a chance to go out and beyond their geographic areas. The people in New York are not all lunatics. They are not all socialists. The people in California are not all Gavin Newsom. The people in Washington are not all the governor. The people in Oregon are not all the governor. The people in Michigan. These people are the minority. And you can wonder, well, how does the minority get elected? Well, doesn't that open a whole new can of worms about how our elections work, right?
Right, yes. Yes.
But the reality is, and this is the sort of little seed that I want to sow, is that we are still America. We are still a constitutional republic. We are still based on the rule of law that is rooted in the laws of liberty. Americans are still the most generous people on the planet. Americans still have a fidelity with each other of being Americans. We are still loving people. We are still generous people. We are still helpful people. We are not racist people. We are not generally biased people against people based on their political beliefs and the color of their skin or their socioeconomic backgrounds. We do not live in a caste system where we look down on each other based on socioeconomic conditions. We, as a matter of fact, are a nation of people who absolutely love the underdog. We love to reach down and lift people up. We love to champion somebody who's fighting against the odds. We love people who fight for what is right. We fight for what is right together, and that is really the spirit of America. And no matter what you see on CNN or MSNBC or even Fox, because you see all these people profit off division. Their currency is chaos, Frank. They have to sow chaos in our minds and in our spirits so they can use us as chattel and make money off of us. That's what they do. They make money when we are miserable. So they keep us in a miserable box and want us to commiserate in misery so they get rich. That's the real corporate disaster. And we know that to be true, Frank. You know why? Because the FBI admitted to the Senate that they pay millions of dollars every year to Twitter alone to push out their propaganda, right? So we can't become overwhelmed by what's going on. But what we do need to do is get educated and united and band together. In the scripture, it says a threefold cord cannot be broken. And that just is a reminder that there is strength in numbers. There is strength in unity. You can have three strings. There's no strength in three strings. But when you have a cord built of those three strings, when they're united together, when they're wound in each other with a common goal, you cannot easily break them. And that's the strength of America. You know, Thomas Payne actually wrote that in I think it was The Rights of Men or Common Sense. I can't remember which one. He said that it is unity, not numbers, that give us our strength. And we are unified by a spirit of liberty in America, the spirit of liberty that founded America, the spirit of liberty that fought for America, the spirit of liberty that created our constitutional republic, and the spirit of liberty that is within each and every one of us that has not been turned. And I will say that, let me correct myself. There is a spirit of liberty in everyone. Our challenge is to overcome the bondage that some have been thrown into by decades of propaganda education.
And in your final thoughts now, give us a little bit more on that, facing that chaos and that spirit that's inside of us, and how you really reflect on that at Christmas time. Not only at the end of the year as we're about to jump into another fresh set of 12 months, but also this is a time of reflection on the spirit of humanity right now and rebirth and salvation. So please leave us with a little bit of thoughts on Christmas and some Christmas wishes for people. And once again, thank you so much for just your friendship, Chris Ann.
Oh, well, we love you, Frank. And I do want to, maybe I should, most of your people know that I am a Christian, and I make no apology for that. So Christmas for me is about my relationship with Christ. It's about knowing that through Christ all things become possible for me, and that the promises that I have received through my rebirth in Christ from God are infallible. That God cannot lie, he cannot break his promise, and he's made promises to me. And what I do in that time is I really reflect on how those very same words and those very same promises brought strength to the people who founded America. I am a lover of the founding of America. I know so many things about that. I am versed in it. I speak in it. I sleep it. I dream it. And so I remember Benjamin Franklin said this. He said, in the beginning of the contest with Great Britain, when we were sensible of danger, we had daily prayer in this room for divine protection. Our prayers, sirs, were heard, and they were graciously answered. All of us who were engaged in the struggle must have observed frequent instances of superintending providence in our favor. And I'll tell you, Frank, there is written, documented instances of things like weather patterns that were miraculously in places. The life of George Washington is one miracle after another. And these are the things that he's referring to. And Benjamin Franklin now rebukes Congress. He says, and have we now forgotten that powerful friend? Or do we imagine that we no longer need his assistance? I have lived, sir, a long time, and the longer I live, the more convincing proofs I see of this truth, that God governs in the affairs of men. And if a sparrow cannot fall to the ground without his notice, is it probable that an empire can rise without his aid? Jefferson said, can the liberties of a nation be thought secure when we remove their only firm basis, a conviction in the minds of the people that these liberties are a gift from God? I have an eternal passion and I have an eternal motivation because I have an eternal victory. I fight for what's happening here on this earth, what's happening because I love my neighbor as myself and I want to preserve and prosper the gifts of liberty that God has given to me for future generations. I know because they are a gift from God to me that I can secure them for future generations in that promise. I also understand that no matter what happens here, as Thomas Paine wrote in The Crisis, that we have to work. We can't just sit around and be on our computers and complain. We can't point fingers at politicians. We can't just wait for Jesus to come and rapture us out. We must make a work of our faith in obedience to those promises. So we work, and we work in my family under the promises of God, that no matter what happens at the end of the day, we always win. Whether we win here or we win in heaven, we are winners either way because we have acted in the obedience for the gifts that God has given us with a pure and good heart for the future of America, for future generations, in the name of God.
There's nothing I can ask you to add on to that, Chris Ann. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you, to JC.
Merry Christmas.
To everybody. And I'm looking forward to another year working alongside of you. And just thank you for everything. And have a wonderful holiday.
Well, 2024 is going to be an amazing blow out the door years for me and for you and for all of us who are in this. And in 2024, Frank, I'm going to be sitting right next to you and we're going to be doing a show.
No, you don't worry about it. Oh, it's happening. Oh, it's happening. There's nothing. That's not even. It's already happened. We're talking to each other from 2026 right now, and we're thinking about all the times it already happened. So that's all.
Right.
Well, send my best along, and thank you for everything. We all love you over here.
God bless you guys. Have a great Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Okay, take care. There you go.
Hey, Frank, and quite frankly, community, Matt Christensen saying Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Frank, it has been my pleasure and honor to work with you and to call you my friend over the last few years. If you or the audience don't remember, I first went on your show back in March of 2020 when all the corona nonsense was just breaking out. And it was the perfect time to find a sane friend and a sane community as the rest of the world went crazy. So I am very grateful for good friends in ridiculous times, and I look forward to working with you for many years to come. So again, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to Frank and all the many wonderful Franklies all over the world.
Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and I just want to wish Frank and the Quite Frankly crew a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season. Keep kicking out those truth bombs, brothers, and we'll see you soon on the show.
Yes, we will.
Hi, it's Mel, Kathy, Roseanne, and we wanted to say Merry Christmas to Quite Frankly family and the great Frank of Quite Frankly.
Quite frankly, Frank is quite frankly great.
Merry Christmas, and we look forward to next year.
And hopefully we'll live that long with Joe Biden in the mask pretending to lead our country into World War III.
But if not, we'll be in the gulag with you, Frank.
We love you, Frank. Love you, Frank.
There's Mel bringing it back from bringing it back from World War III and destruction. Now Roseanne goes to World War III. Mel bringing it back, and then of course the beaming smile of Kathy O'Brien. Here is Sal Greco.
Season's greetings from South Florida, a sunny place for shady people. Buon Natale and Buon Capodanno to the Quite Frankly audience, and to my paisan, Frank, who has become a very good friend of mine. And for all those who don't understand Italian, I just said Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I do wish that from the bottom of my heart to everybody out there. And listen, I know the holidays, sometimes people could get down, people could start dwelling on things. Stay positive and stay focused. Next year, we're going to have a new president. There's no way this guy in office could actually win a real election. Let's be honest. If you watch hockey, I believe the New York Rangers are going to be your next Stanley Cup champions. That'll be 2 cups in 80 years. If you watch wrestling, I believe Roman Reigns will unfortunately lose the Universal Championship. I don't know what's going to happen with the whole tribal chief gimmick, but that'll be a sad day. And listen, maybe climate change will be solved, you know? I mean, I'm just joking. Anyway, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you all. And I hope to come back on the show and see you all soon.
Yes, I hope so too, Sal.
Hey, Frankie, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to your great fucking audience, all your friends, your family. I can't think of a great bunch of people I'd rather hang out with than all you motherfuckers. Merry Christmas, all yous. I love yous. I do.
I hope you understand what just happened right there. I hope you understand what just happened right there. You saw the gooey center to Santino, to King 40, that I've always said, Santino, you've got to just show them what I know, please. Can you show them why I have so much patience with you? Can you show them what I know? Here's one more. I think it's from Jay Gulanello. Let's take a listen.
Welcome to Perpetual Health Minute, brought to you by Quite Frankly. Today, gratitude. Gratitude is a huge part of health, and so today I want to express my gratitude to you. Over the past few years, you've made me part of the Quite Frankly family, and I couldn't be more honored to be a part of it. Every single thing that I do in the health space requires curious minds like yours to motivate me to find answers. And so for as much as you think I've taught you, you have taught me that much more. And so as we head into the new year, I just want to wish every single one of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I truly cannot wait to see what we can accomplish together in the coming year, 2024.
It's true. Wow. Oh, yeah. Boy, it's really hard not to let it all just, it all melts you. It melts me to see all this. And Merry Christmas to Jay Gulanello. What a treasured piece of the show he has become, the show culture, and all these great people. And there is probably many, many more that we can bring in, but I was only one person coordinating it all, and it was a lot to coordinate. I spent a lot of time today. I had to marshal every moment of the day to get things in order and to make sure that everybody had their links. And wow, how smooth was that? You would think that I had, 5 or 6 people, a 5 or 6 person crew over here at the studio helping turn knobs and coordinate. That was sensational. Sensational.
Next year all our troubles will be miles away. Once again, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who were dear to us will be near to us once more. Someday soon we all will be together if the fates allow. Until